Namaskar, Sat Sri Akal, Adab. My name is Kabir Aditya and I'm your host for today. Welcome back to my channel. And if you're new to this channel, please do subscribe and hit the bell icon so whenever I upload a new video, you get instantly notified. This channel is all about movies, sports, and storytelling. Today, we're going to talk about the curious case of Mr. Abhishek Bachchan. Let's begin. So as I said, why is he always compared to his father, the legend, the great, Mr. Amitabh Bachchan? See, the comparison is inevitable. You cannot stop anyone from comparing. It's always going to happen. It happens in common people as well, like business, in engineering, even cricket or any other sport. The comparison, if you're in the same field as your father who was a legend, you're
constantly going to be compared to your father.
No, we cannot avoid it. Now, in the video, for the sake of ease, I'm going to call Mr. Amitabh Bachchan as Senior Bachchan and Mr. Abhishek Bachchan as Junior Bachchan. So now let's begin. Mr. Amitabh Bachchan Senior, the man of the masses. People right from the young age to adulthood to elderly age, from any part of the world, any part of country, any social class, people loved and adored Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. Truly the man of the masses. But what is it that people connect to him? Why? Probably the angry young man image. Or is it something how he is in personal life, how he was raised? Probably because of that too. He came from the humble backgrounds. He had seen the struggle of being the outsider and then entering the film industry and completely owning the acting career. So now, hailing from the ghats of Allahabad, which is now Prayagraj, to basically conquering the entire film industry as an actor, he has seen everything. He has come through the humble backgrounds. He has seen every phase of his life as well. The difficulties he's faced with the injury, with the bankruptcy and everything. And he's always managed to come up top. But the most important factor of him is his humbleness, his hard work, even at this age, and his passion for movies. You cannot compare that to anyone right now, let alone his son. And you also have to admit the command he has over the language of English and the command he has over the language of Hindi. He literally talks like he has PhD in English and PhD in Hindi. He's so fluent, he's so clear that any part of the country, the person can connect to them. Connect to Mr. Amitabh Bachchan, Senior Bachchan. If you speak Hindi, you're obviously going to connect to him because his Hindi is at point, fluent and clear. And it sounds so good to listen to him. But if you don't speak Hindi in the country, you still understand his English. His pronunciation, the tone of voice, everything. When he talks, people listen. You don't have to be the kind of man who grew up watching his younger days films like Angry Young Man movies and all of those. Obviously, you're going to be a fan of him because of that. But I see young people these days when they watch him in a movie like Kalki and they marvel at how can this man still give competition to like film actors. Like he's still as hardworking like it's his first movie. Look how much he's achieved. That hard work, that skill, that relentless passion he has for movies. He has no reason to actually work that hard. He can literally sit home and relax now, but he chooses not to. That's the passion of the movies. That is the reason even the younger generation right now in this century connects to him. And of course, the Angry Young Man was a universal idea of the rising from the poor, from the rags to riches, fighting against the corrupted system and all of that. You know, it's the part of the audience that they wanted to act like him, which by the way couldn't because of whatever reason. But seeing him say those dialogues, take those actions,
people felt like it was part of their soul
on screen. What more do you want to be, as a fan, when you watch a man like him, that legendary man on screen, doing those things and saying those things that you've always wanted to say it from your heart in your life, but you probably couldn't for whatever reason. So that connection to the masses, that's the heart of India. I think that's the reason Mr. Bachchan, Mr. Senior Bachchan is still the greatest of the greatest. Now coming back to Mr. Junior Bachchan, look, he was raised very differently. He was raised in a very posh neighborhood of Mumbai, among the posh entire, like the rich people. Mr. Bachchan, Senior Bachchan has to go through all the struggle of when movies weren't working, when he was new, trying to get a big hit and all of that, competing with already legendary actors like Mr. Rajesh Khanna, like probably the biggest superstar the country has seen. So he has seen that struggle. He knows what it takes to actually succeed. Mr. Bachchan Jr. came from a very privileged background, and he was raised that way as well. If you listen to him, he barely speaks Hindi. His Hindi also seems like he has that English type of accent coming in. But when Mr. Bachchan Sr. speaks Hindi, even the rickshaw, like, not to demean anyone, but people, even any part of the village who don't speak English can understand his Hindi. It's a pronunciation as well. But when Mr. Bachchan Jr. speaks, it seems like someone who's been living abroad for a long time, or they call him, as they say, Angrez da Puttar types. I am sure that, like, I 100% think that Mr. Bachchan Jr. has a complete command over his English. And he's very gentlemanly, very poised, very elegant, but he doesn't have the same command in Hindi. And that is one of the reasons, if you want to be a Bollywood star and your Hindi is not as good, you're never going to be connected to the masses. You might have one or two good films because of the stories or directors or your supporting cast you have, but you'll never be able to hit the masses pulse like Mr. Bachchan Sr. did. So when people say don't compare, this is one of the main reasons to compare. That's his reason for not being as successful. And the mass of India probably doesn't care how good your acting is, even if he's acting so well on screen. But they need to connect. They need that. Even Shah Rukh Khan has that connect. He looks still, when he talks in Hindi or English, both of the times it looks like he's one of the guys from Delhi who made it so big. He still has that Dilli Ka Londa type, you could say, the charm, the swag, or whatever. He still has that charm in his voice. Some people call him arrogant, okay, but he still has the ability to be that sweet guy, like the commoners. You get what I mean. People, when you're looking at him, you can easily connect like he's probably one of us. But with Mr. Bachchan Jr., he completely looks like that privileged, posh, rich people, sons. And he is one of them, which is why the heart of the India doesn't connect to him. And Mr. Bachchan Jr. didn't help himself by picking the wrong scripts. I mean, who does Jhoom Barabar Jhoom or movies like Drona and all of those? In his peak of his, when he could really at the peak of his time, when he could really choose the right scripts, he was so inconsistent. If he made a Dhoom 1, then he made like 2 or 3 terrible films. Then he would make something like Bantir Bubbly. Then he would make some other more terrible films. This inconsistency, you're just going to be a seasonal actor then. You're not going to be the complete actor who rules the Bollywood. Like, Shah Rukh Khan doesn't make a movie for 4 years, he's still Shah Rukh Khan. If Mr. Bachchan Sr. doesn't make a movie at all now, he's still going to be Mr. Bachchan Sr., like that great Amitabh Bachchan. That's the difference. So you have to have the consistency in your thing. You can have 4, let's say, big hits, then 1 an average, 1 complete flop, and then you can still come back with 2 or 3. That consistency, people forget that you made 1 or 2 bad films. But with Mr. Bachchan Jr., you have to think, what were the good films he made? And then you realize, oh, okay, these. He's actually done some good work. And he's actually a very good actor as well, but what can you do? And people who are probably joking about his acting ability, you watch movies like Yuva by Mani Ratnam sir, Guru, also by Mani Ratnam sir, his acting in Bantir Bubbly. I never imagined him to pull off a small town guy so well. He was perfect in that. Then Dhoom was already there, except Dhoom 3. That doesn't exist in my mind. And even Kabir Aditya and I, even the cameo in Hum Tum, he was, at that time, when I saw him, I thought he was going to be the next star. That his own, he's going to have his own fan following and charm. But sadly, he couldn't maximize it. He couldn't live up to that potential. I guess talent or skill and privilege you might have, but if you don't have the idea of how to pick a good script and how to be consistent, can't help it. Because Mr. Bachchan Sr. was that revolutionary, massy, angry young man type, fighting for justice, against the system, and against injustice, actually. He doesn't have to follow the same footsteps. He could be the modern day version of despite having so privileges, you're still that humble, sweet guy. You're back close to your roots. If Mr. Bachchan Jr. just learned how to speak Hindi properly, he could literally attract almost half of the people in the mass. Right now, he probably has 0 fan following among the mass. He's just known as Mr. Bachchan Sr.'s son, Amitabh Bachchan ka beta types. That's it, nothing more. But to create his own identity, despite being from that privileged background, he could still show himself as that humble guy. Sadly, doesn't seem like that guy. He seems a bit stuck up. I don't know. His biggest strength was how classy, elegant the the way he walks, the way he sits. He could be serving as an example of etiquette, of tehzeeb. Among the masses, he could be the guy that everyone wants to be like. That tehzeeb he has is incredible. But speak Hindi, in the movies, speak Hindi properly. It's not like he's the only one who's, when your father is such a legendary actor, the son doesn't become as successful. You can take actors like Ranbir Kapoor. I mean, his father, Rishi Kapoor sir, was brilliant. His grandfather, Mr. Raj Kapoor sir, brilliant. Then you even had Mr. Prithviraj Kapoor sir, brilliant. He had that much weight on his shoulders. Ranbir Kapoor still has his own identity. You had Mr. Guru Dutt, then Mr. Sunil Dutt, and then you have Mr. Sanjay Dutt. Even Sanjay Dutt sir right now is like, he has his own fan following. Regardless of controversies, he's still that quality actor. He can still nail every single scene if he wants to. Nobody questions his acting ability or his superstardom. And even the most underrated actor of our generation, I think, Akshay Khanna. His father was Vinod Khanna. Mr. Vinod Khanna was another legend like Mr. Amitabh Bachchan. So it's at his peak that he quit acting, Mr. Vinod Khanna. But whatever, his peak was also something else. He was in his own league. And Akshay Khanna was equally as good. He probably became more popular than Mr. Abhishek Bachchan as an actor, in my opinion. More profitable as well. So the conclusion is, overall, Mr. Bachchan Jr. had everything what it takes to be a superstar. He has great genes, he has great acting skills, he has the height, he has the looks, everything. But he didn't, because due to inconsistency in picking scripts, not having good command in his Hindi language, and not appearing as humble to the mass of the audience, that is something will always haunt him, that he couldn't connect to the masses. And that's the reason I think he will always be compared to his father. That's always there. But he'll never be as successful if he doesn't change these things. Maybe in the second innings, when he starts playing more mature roles, more older people roles, that can change. He still has time. And I wish him all the best for the second innings when he begins. Right now, he's still in that transition phase, you could say. But yeah, that's my opinion. He'll always be compared, sadly. I want to know, what do you guys think? What went wrong with Mr. Abhishek Bachchan Jr.? Put them in the comment section below. What do you think? Am I wrong in saying that he could have achieved much more? He had the potential. If you think that he barely had any acting ability, let me know. Whatever your thoughts are regarding this video, let me know in the comment section below. I'll respond to every one of you. And this is my Instagram ID. Please do make sure you follow me. I post updates over there and my day-to-day life, whatever I do. And I post some different kinds of reels as well. So if you want to follow me on my Instagram. You can DM me as well if you want, giving me a topic to make on some movies, or some questions on why so-and-so actor wasn't successful, why this movie was not successful, why this movie became a big hit, was actually a terrible movie. All of those. I'll make videos on those like this. So that's the question answer. You can ask me on Instagram, follow me there, and I will see you in the next episode. Please do not forget to like this video, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell icon once again, and hit the button all, so whenever I upload a new video, you instantly get notified. And let me know what you guys think. Do you enjoy watching my videos in English, or you want me to go back to Hindi? Anyways, thank you for watching this episode. I'll see you next time. Take care.